Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Today is a very important session for us, and it's very close to my heart because when we realize that almost every one of us do this at some point in some point in our life, and because we continue doing it, it becomes a habit. It's connected with all of the stresses you have in life. It's connected with the way your relationships pan out, your health, your anxiety, all of that stuff. So while we look at meditation, we look at good food, we look at all of these things, we should never forget that what we're learning today is one of the fundamental reasons why there is also so much of unhappiness when people have so much. Like, just think about it. You have so much in the world today. Don't just think in terms of money, okay? In terms of technology, advancements, entertainment, ability to buy foods from restaurants and whenever you want and all of that stuff. But yet people are unhappy, yet people are struggling in most relationships. When I say relationships, it's not just your partner, it could be with parents, it could be with siblings, your friends, your colleagues, it could be a doctor-patient relationship. And so many, relationship is anything between two people or more people. So what we're understanding today is the fact, and in many points on today's masterclass, I will be putting my video off because I would want you to reflect on certain things, make notes of certain things, and then I'll put it back on again when I feel I need to. There are a lot of points to discuss. I've taken some time putting this together because it's extremely important that we start getting this right. Most people have given away their power, most of us. And at some point, all of us have given away our power. And we're going to understand what I mean by that. What happens when you give away your power or you keep giving away your power? We have a certain amount of energy that we have. It's not limitless. Energy isn't limitless. We wish it could be. But energy is energy. Some of it goes towards your digestive system. A lot goes towards your brain working. Some of it goes to your muscles. A lot of it goes in your thoughts and vice versa, and your feelings, which drive your emotions and your behavior. So technically, we have certain amounts of energy. And as we reach the latter part of the day, we find ourselves, okay, getting tired or preparing to sleep. We're unwinding. Energy levels are coming down. A good night of sleep is like a battery charging us up. It's like our battery getting charged up. And then we wake up feeling replenished with energy. Now, you can wake up feeling replenished with energy. And in the next 1 hour of your day, you could feel drained and fatigued and tired because someone's just driven you crazy. Or someone's just driven you mad, or you got a crazy email, or you switched on the news, or you got to know that someone at last Saturday night's party was backbiting about you and commenting on how you look, so many different things. And now all of a sudden, all that energy is depleted and you feel angry and tired and fatigued, and all of these emotions are taking a lot of energy. So we're going to understand today, and you know, as we do this, your kids see this and start learning from your example, and they start giving away their power all the time. We have to take back that power in the most non-egoistical way, in a way that does not involve false pride, in a way that does not involve aggressiveness. And we're going to learn how to do that today, because anyone out there who's stuck in relationships, stuck with diseases and all of that stuff, there is a huge part over and beyond your medication, the counseling, the meditation that you do. It's how much of power are you giving to that disease that you have in your body? How much of power are you giving the toxicity in your relationship and fueling it more and more? Like you fuel fire. Now you have a small fire, you keep feeding it wood, the fire grows more and more. You have one negative thought and you keep giving it more of your attention, the negative thought becomes more and more and more. The same thing with a positive thought. So where you put your attention, where you put your energy, that grows. It's as simple as that. That's a fundamental. It never changes. So now, I want each of you to think about what I'm talking about now. I just want you to reflect. You can make notes if you want, but I just want you to reflect. At any point in your life, now, before, in previous relationships that you were in, all of that, does any of this feel familiar to you? Okay? You keep changing your goals based on other people. What do I mean by that? Today, you have a particular body goal to look a particular way. But now 10 other people are doing something different and saying, oh, skinny is the new way to look. And all of a sudden, you've changed from just losing a few kilos or just muscle toning to trying to be skinny. Your goals keep changing according to what you see on social media, what society is doing, what people in your group are doing. If you are changing your goal because you've reached a point that, wow, I'm doing this, but I think this isn't working. Maybe if I do this, this can happen. That's fine. Okay, so that's the number one thing I want you to reflect on. Do you keep changing your goals based on other people, their opinions, what they say, what you see on social media? Second, does your day depend on how other people behave or what they say? So you tell your friends in the evening, you know what? I woke up, I meditated, it was a beautiful day, and then I met this person, and the rest of my day just went haywire. Does that sound familiar to you? Okay, just reflect on that. Is your relationship, any relationship, based on how your partner behaves or feels, or your parents, or your children, or your work colleagues? Is your relationship based on how they behave and feel? So they behave a particular way, everything's good. They change, everything's bad. Today they're feeling something, you change. Tomorrow they're feeling something else, again, you change. That's what I mean by that. Reflect on that. Do you keep comparing your body, your wealth, how many friends you have, the kind of cars you have, handbags, watches with other people? Do you keep doing that? Once in a way, it's normal human nature to compare a little bit. But do you think this has become a habit where you constantly compare? You put up a post on Instagram and you see someone who's done a different job, and now you start comparing and you start, feeling bad, and you start trying to feel bad about that person, why that person is better than you, and then you may want to bring down that person. Just simply reflect on that. Okay, well, what do you relate to in everything that I'm saying? Do you suffer from FOMO, the fear of missing out, in a huge way? Of course, we all, if we're sick and we missed out on a party that we've been waiting to go for, that's not FOMO. But constantly, someone's doing something and you want to do it. Do you find yourself engaging in FOMO? Can people emotionally blackmail you easily? Do you easily get emotionally blackmailed? Can people easily use your past mistakes against you, and that shuts you up, that leaves you feeling with guilt so you can't do anything? Can people guilt talk you into doing stuff? Like they make you feel bad because they want you to do something, finish some assignment or whatever it is, or behave a particular way. Do you get offended by people who don't even matter in your life? You don't even know them, but they've said something and you get offended. You take it to heart. Of course you feel bad. Anyone says something, whether you know them or not, you feel a little bit bad. But do you feel so offended by people who don't even matter in your life? When people provoke you, do you say things that you will regret later, and you know you will regret later? Does that happen? Do you work hard only because you want other people to see you in a positive light? Do you dress in a particular way only because you want people to see you in a particular way? Do you wear fancy jewelry or watches or bags and put makeup on only because you want people to see you in a particular way? Or do you do it because you truly like it? Just reflect. Are you one of those kinds of people who constantly complains and blames and whines and finds fault with one another, and then to share your misery, you try to get other people and build, your company around misery? Everything that you're reflecting on is not meant to make you feel bad, because if we are connecting to this, it just means that we've given away our power and now we can change. Do you try very hard to avoid embarrassment, avoid sadness? Of course, we all do. But are you going out of your way to avoid embarrassment and sadness? Do you find it difficult to set boundaries? If you've already done a masterclass on boundaries, how many of you have really done it? Are some of you struggling with it? Do you hold grudges and revenge? People who have hurt you, all of that stuff. That's all I wanted you to relate to. You don't have to discuss this with me or anyone else. By now, you may be familiar with some of the things, and you may say, whoops, that's me. That's absolutely okay. When we constantly hate, or we use that word, I hate this, I hate that person, you've given your power away. Remember that. Everything that I mentioned to you just now, if you're familiar with it, it's only because you've given your power away to all of that stuff. When you find yourself engaging with the ego of other people, with the pride of other people. One person's complaining and now you join in and 10 people and everyone's complaining or blaming, or there's a poor attitude involved, or you want to take revenge for someone who has hurt you, like deep revenge. All of us have that feeling at some point. We want other people who have hurt us to hurt as well. That's okay for a short period of time. We're not saints not to have that feeling at all. But are you waking up with grudges and are you revengeful every day? If your answer to all of these questions is yes, you have given away your power to all of these people, these things, these events. You've given them power over your peace. You've given them power over your happiness, over your health, your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, your cardiovascular problem, your appetite, your sleep, everything. Because it does affect everything when you've given your power away. You see, in life, we can react and we can respond. Very easy for me to say this. Difficult, but not impossible. That's why we encourage everyone, before you get onto complicated fad plans and spirituality and deep spirituality, get the basics right. Mindfulness. Start to practice mindfulness. Only when you practice mindfulness can, in that event of anger, can you actually decide to step back, be quiet, or talk very nicely, but not react, and come back later and respond, because you're not meant to be a doormat. By giving away your power or holding it back doesn't make you a doormat. It's just allowing you time to compose yourself, evaluate, understand that the other person is operating from ego, not from themselves. There's a big difference when we operate from our core self and when we operate from our ego. Big difference. So when people are talking egoistically, there is no point giving even a little bit of energy to that. Just be quiet. Don't engage. The moment you engage with that person's ego, it's irreversible. It's going to be ego, 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 because they will protect their ego. You will unconsciously or consciously protect your ego. It becomes irreversible. The damage is done. That's why when you're dealing with people who have ego, whoever it is, the people you love, the people you work with, no matter what, if they're egoistic, you have to learn with self-awareness to let them keep their ego in their space. Let them keep their ego in their space. Let them say what they want. If you're getting hurt by what they say, of course you get a little bit hurt, but if you're getting so hurt that you need to react, you've given your power. They're controlling you. They're controlling everything. They started off by controlling your emotion. Now they're going to control your reaction. And then after they control your reaction, they're going to control how you feel for the next couple of hours or day and night and the next couple of days maybe. You've given away your power. So reaction or response, we can only get better at that when we practice mindfulness. Today, all of us are here to learn how to get mentally tough and strong and learn how to take back that power that we've given. Traffic. You're living in a city like Mumbai, you're in Manhattan, you're in Bangkok, you're in London, Dubai. There's traffic. But every time traffic irritates you, you've given away your power. You know there's traffic. You're living in that city. So when there's traffic, put your music on, call up your mom or your dad, speak to someone, get some work calls done, listen to a podcast. But if you're sitting in the car, there's damn traffic. I hate this. I wish I could be in another city. What's happening to the government? Where's my road tax money going? You've given your power away. That's an example of you giving away your power. Now you're powerless. You've depleted vital energy that you probably need for when you get back home. Spend with your kids, spend with your friends, make love to your partner, go back and relax. You've given away that power to something like traffic, your mother-in-law, and let me add your father-in-law as well. They keep annoying you all the time. They're only annoying you because you've given away your power. You know they're annoying. You already know all these things. See, what I'm saying may sound very easy, but you need to understand deeper than what I'm saying, okay? We can't change that. They are annoying people. They want to be dominating or whatever. Not all of them, of course, all the mother-in-laws and father-in-laws too. Everyone who is able to annoy you for the rest of the day, you have given your power away. They'll annoy you and get back with their day. Your day continues to get spoiled because you've given away your power to them. You can feel annoyed inside. But the moment you react and then you go to your husband and your wife and you start complaining and say, I want to move out of the job, I want to do, and the same old story. You've given away your power, you're depleting your energy, now you're depleting your partner's energy, and nothing gets fixed. If there's an action that you can take the action. Move out of the family, or tell the mother-in-law, the father-in-law to shut up, or whatever it is. Take an action. Don't not take an action and expect things to get fixed. So you're giving away your power. Your partner. Every couple fights. Every partner fights. Married, not married, whatever. It happens. But how much of power are you giving away in those fights? Because you don't want confrontation. Because you don't want to go through like that cold, silent treatment that may follow. So you don't say what you want to say. You don't put your foot forward. You don't put your point forward. In the right way, of course. You've given away your power. Now someone controls you. And now you pick up the phone and call up all your friends and say, oh, he's like that, she's like this, what do I do? And now you'll have 10 friends who have problems of their own, trying to give you opinions based on their shortcomings and their problems in life to fix your problem. That's why the problems never get fixed. It's nice to vent out, but not by giving your power away. If every time you have an issue in your relationship, you got to call up 10 people, you've given away your power. Your partner owns that power. They control so much in you by saying those one things or behaving in a particular way. Let them continue. You draw your boundaries. If this happens, I'm out. If this happens, this is not okay. All of that stuff. If you've not drawn your boundaries, people will encroach into your space and take your power away. So if you don't know how to ask for respect in your relationship, you've given away your power. If you don't know how to draw your boundaries and say what you want and say what you don't want and ask how you want to be treated, it's not your partner's fault. It is your fault. You can't say, oh, I expect him to be like that. I expect her to be like that. Your problem is with expectations. Who are you? Why are you filled with so many expectations? Everyone's different. No one's perfect, not even yourself. So where do the expectations come from? Oh, I do this, so he should do that. I do this, so she should do that. Why? You're a different people. Are y'all the same? Are y'all exactly the same? Did you have the same upbringing? The same education, same values, the same life experiences? The answer is no. So how do you expect your partner to be the same? How do you expect your partner to know? That's the biggest problem. Men and women expect people to know what they want. You got to go up and ask for what you want in life. From your partner, from your boss, from anyone. Ask. You're either going to get a yes or no. But you don't want to know. You don't want rejection. Why? Ego. You don't want to take a no. You don't want to take rejection because your ego will get bruised. So you don't ask and you give your power away in that relationship all the time to your child. Heard so many of these new age parents today. Oh, but my child may not love me. Oh, but my child will be. You've given your power away to your child because you've been giving power away to everyone else. So it's become a habit now. And you've given it away to your child. You don't have to give your power away to anyone. The person you love, your child, your partner, no one. That's your power. That's your power. You think you're some god or some whatever, that limitless power that you go on giving people, which comes up to the phrase, you can't pour from a cup, which is half empty or empty. You got to replenish if you want to give. You got to give respect if you want to get respect. You have to learn how to respect yourself before you try to get respect from other people or love from other people. It's all about your power. Your boss. You try to suck up to your boss. You try to, be good to your boss. And then your boss is back to you. And all of a sudden your boss is a bad person. You've given away your power. Your boss is able to guilt control you. Your boss is able to manipulate you. Why? Because you've given away your power. No one can manipulate anyone. With deceit you can. But otherwise, if you've held your ground, but you've given away your power. And then you have all the fears. But what if he throws me out? I need a job. And those are your fears. You can't let those fears be justification for you giving away your power. And then disease, or that weight that you're trying to lose. You've given power. You've given power to that mirror and to that weighing scale. That weighing scale that you stand on every morning, and that number that you see that you don't like controls you for the rest of the day. You've given power away to a thing. That disease you have in your body, if it's consuming you and you believe you're going to die, then why do any treatment? Just die. Just die. but you're giving power to that disease. But you got a disease and you know that, wow, so many people have recovered from this. I can be one of them too. I'm not going to give my power away to the disease with fear, insecurity, negativity, resentment, all of that stuff. I'm going to take the right actions to get better. I'm not going to give my power away to that disease. I'm bigger than that. If you believe your disease is going to take you away, it's all over right now. I'll tell you that up front. You can't give it that power. All of this power is connected with your heart, your soul, and your subconscious mind. Now, why do we give it away? There are many reasons why we give our power away. We want to be nice. We want people to like us. We want people to love us. We want people to appreciate us. And that's not wrong. Every human craves that. But from everyone? Is that possible? Can you expect everyone to love you? Can you expect everyone to be nice to you, to say the things that you want to hear? No. And that's why you got to know as a person who the people in your life, who are those people who matter. Now, maybe then, yes, you want that appreciation, you want that love from, you want that respect from whatever, and you build it. If you're expecting it from people that you don't even know, someone you met for the first time at a party makes you feel bad and they control the next week of yours and the next week of yours, you've given away your power because you want them to like you. Why should everyone like you? Period. It's not everyone's job to like you. And it's not your job to have to be liked by everyone. Take out people from the world today, even they have trolls and negativity for decades and decades, whether it's religious leaders, whether it's the Pope, whether it's whoever. You would say, wow, these people are worshipped, but you'll also see their fair share of negativity and hate, because that's how it is. That's how human beings are. That's how people are. If your job is to be liked out there and everything you do is to be liked, you're miserable right now. I can tell you that up front. You don't need a consult. You don't need a therapist to tell you that. If you're doing that, you are miserable right now. And only you can change by taking back your power. So why else? Your self-esteem is low. You've attached your self-esteem and your self-worth to what people say, how you look, how much money you have, how successful you are, how famous you are. So when all of that changes, your self-worth comes right down. It's nice to have money. It's nice to have everything, but you can't attach it to your self-esteem and self-worth. Your self-worth is the way you feel about yourself, the power that you feel in yourself. No one can change that because only you know that. You know your truth, and that defines your self-worth. But when we give our power away because our self-esteem is low. So we want to please people. We give them our power. We want to say yes when we really want to say no. We end up being in a place that we don't want to be just because we want to be appreciated or seen. That further lowers your self-esteem because it's depleting you. You're giving away your power. We spoke about appreciation. Oh, you have that saintly thing like, oh, it's okay. I just want to be a good person. I'll turn the other cheek. If you're that enlightened to do that without feeling any residual emotion, you can do that. But most people, it's just a show. No, let it be. I'll just be quiet. I did my practice today. I'm calm. But inside you're seething. And that builds up to resentment, guilt, some of the worst negative emotions that have every connection with cancers and deadly diseases. One of them, not the only. So if you're angry, you're angry. If you're envious, you're envious. If you're lustful, you're lustful. Tame it. Don't let it control you. That's the problem. You become a slave to it. You're human. Are you trying to act like you don't have sin in you? You're trying to act good all the time. When you try to act good all the time, again, you've given power, because now you give power to only people to make them see you in that light. You know how exhausting that is? Trying to be good all the time. You can tame yourself. You want to be adventurous, you want to be naughty, whatever. Let that child in you come out as well. You're human. There's so many people trying to be like, whatever, doing charity, giving, whatever, just to feel better, but they don't feel better because they're not doing it with the right intention. To feel better, they got to get their power back. Sometimes we give away our power because we think the other person will change. All those kind of relationships where the girl thinks that, oh, I'll change him. I know I can change him. Or the guy, oh, I know I can change her, and all of that stuff. You've given your power away right then. Right then. You can try. But if you're going to give your power away, you're depleting yourself of everything. Put the camera off again because I want you to reflect now. Very, very carefully on all that we talk. So when you do not set healthy emotional and physical boundaries for yourself, you are at high risk of giving away your power. You need to set emotional boundaries, physical boundaries with your partner, with your boss, with everyone. If not, they're going to encroach into your space. They're going to take away your power. You're going to be giving it away mindlessly because you don't know your own boundaries. Second, you got to learn how to say no the right way. A lot of people don't want to say no because they feel that, oh, he'll stop liking me. She'll stop loving me. They'll stop respecting me. You'll have more respect and honor when you learn to say no the right way, assertively, kindly. You don't have to say it with anger. You don't have to say it with aggression. And what are some of the problems with giving away your power? You feel horrible. All the time you feel miserable. You feel like a doormat. You feel weak. You feel people are taking advantage of you. You get into victim mode. I'm such a nice person. I did so much for that person, and now look what's happened. Your fault. Your fault again. You've given away your power. Or you've run that entire thing out of expectation, not knowing that people don't have to reciprocate in the way that you are. So it affects you. Another problem with giving away your power. You're dependent on others to regulate how you feel. So when things are going great, everything's going great. When things start to go wrong or crumble, you crumble completely. Others start to define your self-worth and the way you live. You no longer operate from your gut instinct of, I want to wear this because I feel good in it and I like it. Your decisions to wear something is based on other people. The decision to put your kids in a certain school is based on other people, not what you really think is right. So many examples like that. You got to reflect on these things and see where you've given away your power. Sometimes people behave in different ways and we complain and we blame, and it's not going to change the other person. You shout, you nag, you get angry. You're just giving away your power more and more. Sometimes you got to look at the other person. They're suffering. That's why they're behaving in a particular way. They're suffering. Maybe they have a bad childhood. Some of my life coaching calls over the last couple of months have been a tremendous learning for me. I've been dealing with couples and a lot of people with cancers and diseases and emotional conflict. And, you know, when you go into why one partner looks like the monster in the relationship, he's the cause of everything or she's the cause of everything. And when you go into their childhood and you find out that that monster was told by their parents that, hey, you were an unwanted child. You know, you were never meant to be born. You were a mistake. Can you imagine how that person actually became a monster? And that his behavior today is based on growing up just trying to feel wanted. And for that, you get aggressive, you become insecure, you become abusive, you protect yourself, you don't trust anyone, because if your own parents could say something like that, who else can you trust? And then the partner now realizes that the monster that I have in my relationship is suffering. He's not waking up every day and deciding I'm going to put you down and abuse you and shout at you. And now the healing starts with understanding, something that blame and complain and finger pointing can never ever work. So every time you're complaining and blaming and nagging and fighting, you're just giving your power away to your partner. You're making them stronger and stronger. They know which buttons to push for you. They know how to control you. Take that power away. You become a victim. You start to blame everyone in the world for all of your shortcomings, for everything. You say, why me? You go into the why me mode. Why not you? Who are you? Why not you? So you get into victim mode and you do not want to take responsibility for your choices and decisions. Victims do not want to take responsibility. You're in a bad relationship. 99% of those bad relationships would involve you also playing a role in that. 99% or more. You would have played that part. You would have known about certain traits, but yet you jumped into that relationship. Now you got to take responsibility for your choices and decisions. You take what action you want. But playing the victim card is only giving away your power to more and more people. And the more and more you share all of your sad stuff with and your victim stuff with, the more and more power you're giving away to everyone. After some time, your own friends that you vented out to are, oh, she's such an emotional thing. Oh no, she's coming to meet us. We got to listen to all of her stuff. We got to listen to all this stuff. That's human beings, my friends. It happens in the real world with real people. No one likes a whiner all the time. No one likes people complaining and blaming. They're doing it because they're your friend. But you're giving away your power. A real friend will tell you to shut up in a nice way and to reclaim your power. What mistakes have you made? What choices and decisions that you made that have led to this as well? It takes two hands to clap. Now you take actions, but get out of victim mode, because you cannot take action when you're stuck in victim mode. You become a slave to all your anxiety, your fears, your emotions. Another way you know you're giving away your power is when you become very sensitive to criticism. And none of us like that. But who's it coming from? If criticism is coming from a really good friend who's really looking out for you, or from a partner who's helping you see a blind spot, or from a teacher, or from a coach, or from someone else, if you're really taking it to heart, you're giving power to the other person immediately. Now, if criticism from people that you don't even know is affecting you, you've given all that power away. You got to remember something about criticism. When you get it, you don't always have to take it. You can evaluate the criticism. You can evaluate the feedback with a spirit of humility. Oh yeah, maybe you won't admit it. We all have pride and ego, but you say, wow, yeah, this is something I need to change. This is something I need to work with, and you do it. Also remember, criticism, you don't always have to take it, because criticism is the reflection of the critic. If you have an angry critic, the angry critic will always criticize you with anger. If you have an insecure, jealous critic, they would always do that from their space of insecurity and jealousness. If your critic has low self-esteem, they will always try to put you down so that they can feel better about themselves. So you can look at criticism both ways. Both ways. Very important for you to do that. Now, by learning to take our power back, what changes in us? Number one, you stop depleting energy to that one thought that you woke up with, that one thing that someone said. Today, even a WhatsApp message, people have given their power away to a WhatsApp message. You get a message and the rest of your day is all about how the message makes you feel. You need mindfulness to disengage your emotion from the event. That's how you keep your power. So you save energy. Your image and your self-respect increases when you empower yourself with keeping your own power. Because now you can stand up and say, no, as much as I would love to help you, but I really can't do this time. I hope you understand. Or you can tell an abusive partner that, I'm sure you have a point of view, but if you can speak with respect, it's going to be better. If not, let's just not speak right now. A lot of y'all would have said, oh, we've done this, we've tried this. Have you really tried it the right way? And let's say you have and it's not worked. That doesn't mean you still have to give your power away to that person. So if a partner in your relationship or any phase in life has the ability to control your emotions, of course, sometimes we know we've done something wrong, we're guilty and we want to make it up. That's all good. We do things, we give a little power away to feel better and all of that stuff. But if you're trying to avoid facing your own demons, if you're trying to avoid confrontation, if you think that if I stand up now, I've never done this before in my relationship, maybe my partner will leave me, maybe they won't love me, you've still given them power. Everyone changes. You were once a kid. You grew up into a young teenager and then into a young adult, and who you are right now, you've changed. People in relationships can also change. It requires immense maturity from the other partner to realize this. Another common problem we have, Luke, when we got married, everything was like that. Today, he's different. He only wants to sit and meditate. He only wants to do this. Say, I think the problem is with you. So what if he wants to do that? He was a different person when he got married to you. He's a different person right now. Why can't you respect that? Maybe you've not evolved, and that's why you want him to be at the same level that we all were. Or he, for example, Luke, I think our relationship is not working out. When we when we were in love, when we were dating, when we got married, we were smoking joints every day, we were drinking, we were partying, we were having more sex. And today she's this different person. She just wants to do yoga. She wants to read. She doesn't want to go out. She doesn't want to party. The problem's with you. Why can't you respect change in your partner? Why not? She was a different person at that stage in your life. Now she's evolved. You haven't. So it's created a distance between your evolution path and hers. In between that gap, there is space for conflict. For conflict. Be careful of the people who say, oh, he changed, oh, she changed. These are people who are very, very insecure. They've not changed. They should have, they're struggling to, or they don't want to, but they can't handle other people's change. Evolution is a part of life. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen. You can't resist it. The people who can't and don't want to will become the biggest people in your life who try to pull you down. Oh, he's become too smart. Oh, she's become too egoistic. Now she only wants this. Now he only wants that. Why not? They've changed. There's nothing wrong with that. So yes, empower yourself by getting your power back. Another reason why you really want to get your power back is because it reduces your risk of depression and anxiety-related diseases. Can you imagine the amount of people sick out there today because they're no longer in control of their emotions? If they're not in control of their emotions, their cortisol, their adrenaline, their progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, insulin, thyroxine is all over the place. Simple word, lifestyle diseases. Because you're never at rest. You can never be at rest when you've given or you're constantly giving your power away. All healing and recovery can only happen in a space of complete rest. Which brings us to my favorite topic, forgiveness. Very easy to talk about, very difficult to do, but not impossible. And everyone will have all their sob stories. I don't want to know those sob stories. Okay, yes, you were hurt. Yes, you're right. He shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have done it. Got it. All of that is fine. Put that on the back burner now. You are forgiving to get your power back, period. You may want your ego and pride and all of that to be satisfied and hurt the other person and do whatever and stuff like that. But you are only forgiving so that you get your power back. Think of all the people who you've not forgiven. Every single day, they have control over you. Your happiness, your joy, your blood pressure, your disease, your weight, everything, your time, the most valuable asset that you're never ever going to get back. Everyone you've not forgiven has your power. Those people are probably living on their life. They've probably forgotten you. They're probably not even aware what they've done. But you've given away your power. They're enjoying their life. You're the one suffering. How could she? How could he? Of course, there could be some very, 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 harsh incidents in life where even I don't know, maybe I would struggle with forgiveness if I was in them. So I'm not taking away from those. Like I had a lady whose young 4-year-old daughter was raped. And this happened in Delhi. This happened a couple of months ago. And she was devastated. I didn't even preach forgiveness to her because I don't know how I would be able to forgive. But we started gradually talking about, how she should take her power back away and how that rapist was controlling, even though the rapist is in prison right now, still has the power of the mother because it's affecting her. And then she eventually moved into deeper counseling with, of course, a psychiatrist because there's only a level that we can help at. But you see, forgiveness is for you to get your power back. Now, all the people who've hurt you, and this is real life, people, real life. You can say, oh, it doesn't happen with us, but it happens with most people. Most people, when they catch up for their coffees or their drinking sessions at night or their socializing, think about the conversations that happen. It's always about the people who hurt you, who did what, something that's not worked out, that's something that involves complaint and blame. It's even controlling you when you're out to socialize and have a good time and relax because your power is outside of you. You got to take back that power by learning to forgive, let go, accept, find it happened. You're not entitled. I'm not entitled. I may do 10 good things. It doesn't mean I'm entitled to 10 good things happening back to me. The feeling of entitlement is destructive. When you realize and remind yourself every day, that I reap what I sow. I am not entitled to anything at all. If I get it, I'm grateful. If I've worked for it and I get it, I'm proud. If I don't get it, I'm not going to crumble. I'm not going to say, oh, I was a CEO, I didn't get it. Oh, I'm an actress, but I'm having this problem. Oh, I'm this and that. No one cares. Your subconscious mind doesn't care. People don't care. It's only your ego. And each time you play that role, your ego is getting stronger and stronger. You're strengthening your ego with those things. No one's entitled to anything. Remember that. So now you got to get your power back. And that's why we talk about forgiveness. Who cares about the other person? All I care is about you getting your power back. All you should care about is you getting your power back. So remember that person or people, if you've not yet forgiven them, you're holding a grudge, you're still planning revenge, it's only one simple thing to say. You've given away all of your power and they're controlling every aspect of your life. Now that starts to affect you, your health, your relationships, which are good, your children. No child wants to see a parent's face all the time, stressed out and complaining and blaming. They eventually become what they see. You got to own responsibility. Lead from the front. End it. Cut it right now. It's not easy. You're going to suffer. Forgiveness requires suffering. It requires suffering. The point is no one wants to suffer. And let me tell you, every religion and spiritual path tells you that there cannot be a life without suffering. So you're not entitled to a life without suffering. Deal with it. Suck it up. The sooner you learn to deal with your suffering, the better it is. The sooner you learn to face your suffering, the better it is. I like this one line that Paulo Coelho writes about in The Alchemist. The fear of suffering is worse than the suffering. Your fear of, having to say that to someone, what's going to happen? You might as well say it. Suffer a little bit, but that fear of not doing it, that suffering is worse than what the actual suffering can be. So when it comes to forgiveness, even if you have to admit something, yes, I was wrong. Now it comes with embarrassment. It comes with a destruction of your ego and pride. Get it over with. Admit it. Say sorry, you were wrong. A lot of people say, oh, sorry, is it? Well, that's their problem. You are saying sorry from your heart so that you can move on, so that you can get your power back. Otherwise, you're going to be controlled by guilt all the time. Other people have that remote. He's made these mistakes. She's made these mistakes. I can press the button of guilt and control them. Oh, fine. I was who I was when I did that. Okay? You have the choice to forgive me or let's take the next step. But I'm not going to give you my power to control me. Out of fear, that's going to make me miserable. That's going to make you miserable. And every time a partner or a person uses emotional blackmail, two things happen. You make the other person weaker and you make your ego and pride stronger, which is not good for anyone. So now let's get straight into how do we get our power back? Healthy boundaries. Start with your meditation, people. 5 minutes or 10 minutes. If you can't meditate, sit in silence. You don't want to sit in silence, start mindfulness. Please do the mindfulness session that we've done, 29 days of mindfulness. It's a free session. Do it. It's changed thousands of people's lives. When you're mindful, you can do what I told you today. You can start executing what you've learned today. Otherwise, it's just stuff that, oh, this sounds so good. And you're back tomorrow to your day of giving away your power. This session is useless if you're not going to practice it. So first, ground yourself. Know where your power is going, why you're giving your power away. Is your self-esteem low? Are you afraid of losing love? Are you afraid people may not like you? If people have to like you because you give them power, that person doesn't really like you for who you are. Remember that. You're feeding their ego, you're feeding their pride, and that's why they like you. Everyone likes someone who's constantly saying nice things about them, right? It makes your ego and your pride happy. That's why we do that. So silence, meditation, pause, practice the pause between reaction and response. For that, you need mindfulness. So someone's making you angry right now, pause. Okay, sometimes silence is the best. It will make them more angry, but be silent. But you say, I'm hearing you, I'll come back to you. The pause is very important to move from reaction to response. Practice, practice, practice. Only when you keep practicing to take your power back. So the exercise homework for today is Make a list of all the people or things that you've given away your power. Yeah, you give away power to things. You just bought this expensive car or whatever. You bought a car. And now it controls you. You wake up, oh, someone's going to scratch my car today. What's going to happen? Is this going to happen? Don't touch my car. Oh, don't mess up my car. It's controlling every aspect of your life. You've given power away to a material thing. To draw your boundaries. No eating in my car. If it gets scratched, okay, I can just be careful while driving. But if someone scratches it, it's out of my control. Probably take a better insurance and get it covered and fixed and move on with your life. But you can't have a material thing control you. If a material thing is controlling you, you've given your power away to a material thing. You have some serious work to do. Of course, it's nice to look after our things, but it can't control us. You lost your phone. You're going to be depressed for 1 week. I can understand a few hours, 1 day, okay, take 2 days. You're going to move on, right? You've given so much power to that phone that it controls every aspect of your life. So practice. And always remember, the fear of the consequence. You are afraid of a consequence. And that is why you do not hold on to your power. Fine, there's a consequence for everything. Every action has a consequence. Every food you eat has a consequence. Every medicine you take has a consequence. Everything you do in life has a consequence. Are you willing to be responsible for those consequences? Are you willing to build enough of courage and strength to face the consequences? All of them may not be good. Oh, I ate well, so I'm healthy today. I feel great. I exercised. I look great today. But I'm eating well, but I'm still putting on weight. Different consequence. Now, you've given so much of power away to what people say about your weight. That's why it makes you feel miserable. So it comes down to this. By now I'm understanding, I'm hoping that most of you would have related and already figured out how much of power you have given away. So when you make statements like, that person makes me mad, you've given that person power. He can make you mad. That person makes me so happy, I don't know what I would do without him if he's not in my life. I'm happy you're happy, but you've given away too much of power. What if that person isn't in your life tomorrow? You slip into depression? Oh, you can feel sad, no problem. Watch where you're giving your power away through your words, through your actions, through what you write. Watch people try to engage you in it. You start gossiping about someone that you don't even know or some man. You're giving your power away to that person who doesn't even know this group of people are talking about them. It's depleting you. It's moving you from a higher plane of vibration to a lower plane of vibration. No one wants to vibrate at a lower plane of vibration. What exists at a lower plane of vibration? Complaint, blame, the ego, pride, negativity, anger, feeling miserable, feeling depressed, inability to enjoy what you have, even if you have stuff. Low plane of vibration. To change it, that's what our next masterclass is on, sometime next month or the end of this month, where we talk about your vibration. Why it is so important when you have a deadly disease or no disease, when you have problems in your relationships, at work, with your wealth, with your abundance, how you can shift your vibration using simple, inexpensive methods from low vibration to high vibration. That's what we're going to do on our next masterclass. People, thank you for your time. I hope this is a good session for you, because I can tell you 100%, almost every second patient that I'm dealing with today, before they start being peaceful, happy, they first have to take their power away. And I'll tell you this, I'll end it with this. You may have everything in the world to make you happy, but if you've given away your power, can you feel happy? The answer is no. And that's why you got to empower yourself by taking back your power. It's not difficult. It's not impossible. You just got to start. And when you start, stay committed to it. When you start taking power away from people and whatever and stuff, a lot is going to change. People are going to change because now they feel weak. What happens when you take power away that you've given someone? You were weak because you're giving power. Now you're taking it, and they were strong. Now you're taking that power back. You're getting stronger and they're getting weaker. A lot of them are not going to like that feeling. So it's part of the consequence that you got to face. Have a great evening, everyone.